Hello, and welcome back to News Reviews for June 23rd, 2024. Let's get to it. Explosive study once removed by Lancet within 24 hours is now peer-reviewed in public, reveals 74% of deaths directly linked to COVID-19 shot. I guess we'll find out if you could say that. We're just going to read that headline. It is what it is. Week after Mexican politician was assassinated, a Mexican mayor is found murdered in back of van in same region. Yeah, I just was told recently that Mexico cartels right now are in cleanup mode. Top Trump DOJ official Jeff Clark explains why Jack Smith's appointment is unconstitutional and how he may be operating outside of the chain of command. That would not be a surprise. At least 5 police officers dead and priest beheaded after terrorist attacks on church and synagogue in Dresden, Russia. Officials allege terrorists were using NATO-supplied weapons. These attacks on churches and synagogues is going to become more prevalent, but we do not need to fear. We do not need to have a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. And if you want to know why we shouldn't have any fear, you should look at the Good News Network at my productofthesystem.com website. Crazy Maxine Waters fears for her safety if Trump wins, warns millions at risk of violence and killing. Okay, first, we have to lay some foundation because she likes to play the race card.
Capitol Police, who happen to be people, police of color, African American, they were calling them names, the N-word. Every day we have seen, this nation get more racist.
What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery. Cowboys with their reins again, whipping black people.
And he was making racist comments. He was, identifying himself with people like the Ku Klux Klan and the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the QAnon. I mean, that is racism defined in the most obvious way. And so to say that this is not a racist country.
I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
But yes, we have a problem with racism.
However, she pulls that card out a lot, even just for disagreeing with her or for questioning her intelligence, which should be questioned.
And I certainly expected him to come out with some racist remarks about me.
So let me say that I would come against anyone of any color, race, or nationality for the things she has said and done, which used to be prosecuted as crimes before the two-tier justice system. So all of that to call her out for race baiting and claiming everything is racist. I firmly believe that if it weren't for people like her, racism would not be an issue at all. I believe that our children would show Christ's love to one another and not even think negatively about skin color if they were still being raised with God-centered education and not having the racism, indoctrination, and agenda pushed on them constantly. Nobody has ever publicly called for violence against her, although she did call for violence against Trump supporters.
From that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd, and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
She likes to act like she is threatened all the time so she can justify wasting millions of dollars of taxpayer money for security details. However, there has only ever been one man who left threatening voicemails for her. Let's look at that article now. NBC has it. Texas man who threatened to kill U.S. Rep. Maxine Waters sentenced to 33 months in prison. And she wants to claim that it's because she's black. Maybe, but I'd like to ask you, is it possible that she started it?
If you see anybody from that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station,
to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. We've got to get more confrontation. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business. I will go and take Trump out tonight. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. We will be out by the millions. We're
going to make sure we fight. You ain't seen nothing yet.
And simply got the response she expected. Now, I've always called this lady Mad Maxine, and in searches earlier today, I found that others agree. And I can see why, after I found this clip of Mad Maxine campaigning in her younger days. Take a look. Oops, that's not actually Mad Maxine, but it sure did sound like her, didn't it? My mistake. But on a serious note, let's look up the definition of inciting violence, shall we? Oh, here it is.
This is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. We ain't playing with you. Enough of the shenanigans. Enough is enough. And for those of you who are soldiers, you know how to do it. Do it right. Be in order. Make them pay.
To add to that, Mad Maxine also likes to support BLM, Black Lives Matter, which most black people know by now does not really care about black people, only about inciting violence to further the agenda of the Satanists she works under. If you do not know the dark side of truth about BLM and Antifa, then let me know you'd like to dive down that rabbit hole. I went undercover and walked among them on a few occasions, recording some interesting conversation. And just for comparison, here's what she claims is inciting violence.
And for us to bend our knee in reverence to you, Lord, to recognize that everything we have in this nation comes from your hand. And help us to demand the protection of our right to freedom to serve you.
The people who committed billions in damages and looting got out of jail free, while the people who committed the peaceful protest have been locked up for years without trial. Okay, and here's the last thing on Mad Maxine for today. A short clip of her during an interview on the Joe Morning Show.
And for those black young men who think somehow they can align themselves with Trump, not only are they terribly mistaken, any of them showing their face, I will never, ever forgive them for undermining the possibility to help their own people and their own communities. It is absolutely unconscionable. It is shameful.
Anyway, let's break down what she said there. First, she targeted black men, specifically young black men. So she made it about race. Now she's on a slippery slope. Then she goes on to say that she will never forgive them, and it is shameful for them to vote Trump. So to put that into clear terms, she vowed to discriminate against black men who vote for Trump. That is racist. She is racist. Case closed. She can cry racist wolf all she wants, but nobody should pay her any mind. Okay, moving on. I'm not surprised. Kari Lake discusses the investigation into Katie Hobbs' $400,000 pay for play scheme following stolen election. I say that a lot, don't I? I am not surprised. Just in, left-wing fact-checker Snopes finally admits Trump did not praise neo-Nazis or white nationalists as very fine people in Charlottesville hoax. I guess pigs are flying, because they hardly ever do a retraction or admit the truth. Senator Rand Paul says illegal migrant crime should be enough to disqualify Biden for consideration. Rand Paul is not a great person. He's not on our side, but he is saying something true. So I guess he's playing the role of controlled opposition today. He bounces back and forth a lot. And that's it for today. That is the news. See you tomorrow.